remember that lady at our family reunion. She complained about everything. And this guy, he was a lot of fun.
Your family pictures remind you what they're like, but what do others think you're like? My name is Zach, and you're listening to Keys for Kids. Usually when I go out running errands, one of the things I love doing is just watching people. You can tell who's having a good day or a bad one, who's a cheerful person and who you'd rather avoid. You can tell a lot just by observing them. So what do you think people can see about you? Do you show the fruit of the Spirit in your life, like love, joy, peace, or patience? When you do, you're telling others that you follow Jesus and you're following Ephesians 5:1-2. It says, "Be imitators of God and walk in love as Christ loved us." Our story today is entitled, A Reading Lesson. Nova stared at the rain out the window while her brother Silas thumbed through a magazine. "There's nothing to do," Nova said. "Why don't you come help me with this picture album?" said Mom. "Since you know most of the people in the pictures, you might enjoy it." So Nova and Silas joined Mom at the table. "By the way, have you learned your memory verses for church yet?" Mom asked as she got out more pictures. "I did. Want to hear it?" asked Nova. She recited it. "You yourselves are our letter, written on our hearts, known and read by everyone." "But we're people, not letters," said Silas. "How can anybody read us?" "I don't know, but oh, look!" exclaimed Nova. "Here's a picture of Silas when he was really little. He's wearing big sunglasses. He looks so funny." Silas grinned. "You think that's funny? Well, look at yourself in this one." He held up another picture. "You have a giant bow on your head." They both laughed. "Here's Dad's aunt from Ohio," said Nova, picking up a picture taken at a family reunion. "She looks mad. Do you remember her?" "Sure do," said Silas. "She was grumpy and complained about everything." He pointed to a picture of a tall man. "I remember this guy, too. He brought a croquet set to the reunion and taught all of us kids how to play. He was a lot of fun." "That's great-grandma Rita standing next to him," said Nova. "Just by looking at her, you can tell she's really nice. She's always smiling." "I notice you're both reading people," observed Mom. "You read one of the people at the reunion as grumpy, one as fun, and another as nice." "Oh, I get it," Nova said. "To read people means to get impressions about them by the way they act. We learn something about them by seeing and watching them." "And they get impressions of us by the way we act," added Silas. Mom nodded. "And that's why we need to depend on the Holy Spirit, who is shaping us to be more like Jesus. Let's trust Him to help us display the fruit of the Spirit, things like goodness, patience, and love, so that others can read that we belong to Jesus." So what about you? How are people reading you? Do they see characteristics that are written by the Holy Spirit as He works in your life and makes you more like Jesus? Do they see you being patient with your family members? Do they hear kind words coming from your mouth? Trust God to help you live in such a way that others can read you belong to Jesus. Our key verse is 2 Corinthians 3:2.
You yourselves are our letter, written on our hearts, known and read by everyone.
And our key thought for today, let others read Jesus in you. If the Keys for Kids story is a big part of your everyday, I think you'll want to check out more great stuff from Keys for Kids Ministries. Find your mom and dad and then take them online to keysforkids.org. There you can listen to Keys for Kids radio, play games at Camp Bianchi, and grow closer to God. So have some fun today at keysforkids.org. I'm Zach. Thanks for listening to Keys for Kids.